This ain't your average hip-hop headline. Folks, this is the kind of chaos that makes love and hip-hop look like Sunday school. King Harris, T.E.'s son, the self-proclaimed prince of trap royalty, is now fighting for his life after a brutal jail attack that has the entire internet gasping, crying, and conspiracy theorizing all at once. I'm talking about punches, panic, and parental breakdowns that could make even the hardest gangsta shed a tear, and in the middle of it all, yes, the king of the South reportedly losing control for the first time ever. The man who built an empire on lyrics about power and pride is now begging doctors, guards, and God himself for mercy over his son. Fans are calling it karma, others are calling it corruption. But everyone's asking one question: what really happened behind those bars? Because this wasn't some small scuffle. Oh no. This was a full-blown ambush, the kind of attack that sends shockwaves through Atlanta. The hip-hop world and the entire Harris dynasty stay glued, because the truth behind King Harris' hospital battle might just expose the darkest secret this family has ever tried to hide. Let's rewind this chaotic tape, because what went down inside that jail cell could have been ripped straight out of a Netflix true crime special directed by 50 Cent himself. King Harris, the son of rap royalty, the boy who once flexed luxury chains heavier than his GPA was supposed to be, in and out. A quick lesson learned moment for acting too grown too soon. But instead, this little stint behind bars turned into the nightmare of the year. It all started when King decided to prove he wasn't just another celebrity kid with soft hands and a loud mouth. For weeks, he'd been jumping on Instagram Live, talking tough, saying he's built for the streets and don't need daddy's money. Fans laughed. The blogs rolled their eyes. Even T tried to calm him down, warning, "Son, the streets don't play fair." But King, he had that look, the kind only teenage arrogance can buy. Fast forward to last week, and boom, karma clocked in right on schedule. According to reports, King got into a verbal argument with another inmate who didn't care who his father was. Witnesses claim it started over something stupid, a comment about rich boy energy, but it escalated fast. Words turned into shoves, shoves turned into fists, and before anyone could blink, it was a full-blown brawl. The guards were too slow, the cameras caught too much, and by the time the dust settled, King Harris was on the ground bleeding, dazed, and reportedly unconscious. But here's where things get dark. Rumors started flying that this wasn't just a random fight, that someone set him up. A planned hit. Not for robbery, not for revenge, but for status. Because inside, taking down T.E.'s son earned stripes that money can't buy. It's the kind of twisted street logic that makes no sense but explains everything. And if that's true, this wasn't just an attack, it was an initiation for someone else's reputation. Within hours, the story leaked online. Jail staff tried to keep it quiet, but you can't hide from the internet. Someone on the inside posted a cryptic message: "Y'all favorite rapper's son ain't safe in here." Boom. That was all it took. Screenshots, reposts, YouTube reactors, everyone jumped on it faster than TMZ after a celebrity mugshot. By the next morning, King Harris hospitalized was trending #1 on Twitter, with fans demanding answers and T reportedly rushing to the facility. Sources say when T arrived, he was not the composed, dictionary-spitting motivational speaker we usually see. Nah, this was a father raw, panicked, and angry. One witness allegedly heard him yelling in the hallway, "Y'all said he was safe. You said he was protected." The man who once rapped about rubber band banks and respect now looked like he'd trade every dollar for a guarantee his son would open his eyes. Tiny, King's mother, was seen sobbing beside him. Her post later that night, a single emoji, no words needed. And while the family was breaking down behind hospital doors, the internet did what it always does: it divided. Half the world prayed for King's recovery, posting "Stay strong, King Harris" and "Pray 40." The other half, ruthless. Comment sections filled with "he wanted to be about that life, now he living it." And guess being T.E.'s son don't mean immunity in the real world. The cruelty was unreal, people turning a hospital tragedy into a meme war. Then the first leaked photo hit the web. King lying in a hospital bed, tubes, bruises, and bandages visible under harsh fluorescent light. Nobody knows who leaked it, but that image spread like wildfire. Fans were shocked. Critics claimed it was fake. Others swore it came from an insider with a grudge. The hashtag who leaked King started trending. And suddenly this wasn't just a story about an attack, it was a full-blown media circus with suspects, theories, and villains. And let's talk about those theories, because the internet's creativity knows no bounds. One rumor said rival rappers paid off inmates to teach King a lesson. Another claimed guards looked the other way because of who his father is. The wildest one, that T himself orchestrated the arrest as a scared straight stunt that went horribly wrong. Imagine a PR move gone tragic. While that theory has no proof, it spread faster than fact ever could. Meanwhile, chatter in Atlanta was explosive. Old heads from the industry started speaking out. Boozy went live and said, "This why you can't play gangster when you got blessings." Charlemagne the God called it the consequence of cloud chasing. Even 50 Cent, never one to miss a jab, posted a meme saying, "If your daddy a legend, stop trying to be a statistic." Savage. But in the middle of all that noise, T made a rare emotional post. No fancy words, no PR polish, just a black screen and text. "Ain't no lesson worth my son's life. Y'all keep my boy lifted in prayer." It hit hard. Fans flooded his comments with support, and for the first time in years, the rap community united not for a release or a beef, but for a father watching his son fight for breath. Still, that didn't stop the speculations. Some outlets claimed King's condition was critical but stable. Others whispered about head trauma, broken ribs, and internal injuries. It was chaos, every blog claiming exclusivity, every fan playing detective. Meanwhile, T reportedly demanded an investigation inside the facility, accusing guards of negligence. One insider said he threatened to buy the whole damn building if he didn't get answers. And you know what's crazy? Even in the middle of all this pain, people started digging up old videos, clips of King talking tough, bragging about not being scared of jail. Those clips were being replayed everywhere, turned into cautionary edits like "From Flex to ICU." The internet has no mercy. But beneath the memes, there was a dark truth. This was a young man who'd been trying to find himself in the wrong environment. And now he was paying the ultimate price. By the time TMZ confirmed the hospitalization, the world had turned King Harris' tragedy into digital theater. Fans were crying, trolls were laughing, and everyone waited for the next update like it was an episode drop. Then came the chilling detail. King had reportedly flatlined not once, but twice during surgery. That's when T reportedly fell apart. One hospital insider said, "He dropped to his knees right there in the hallway. I've never seen him like that." And that image, T, the king of the South, breaking down in tears, shattered the internet. The man who survived the streets, the feds, and fame, now brought to his knees by something no power could control: the fear of losing his child. The clip of him walking out the hospital lobby, hoodie up, eyes red, went viral in minutes. Headlines screamed, "T breaks down outside hospital." The irony wasn't lost on anyone. The rapper who built a legacy teaching his son toughness was now begging for softness, mercy, and miracles. It was human, raw, and real in a way social media rarely allows. But while the family prayed for healing, whispers kept growing louder, whispers of a cover-up. Because apparently, security footage from the night of the attack went missing. That's right, conveniently lost in transfer. Fans didn't buy it. Bloggers claimed someone didn't want the truth coming out, that the attack was more than just a fight, it was a message. A message to who? To T? To the industry? Or maybe to everyone who ever thought fame could buy safety? Whatever it was, this story was spiraling into something way bigger than a father and son. It was becoming a modern tragedy, a warning that in the spotlight, privilege doesn't protect you. It paints a target on your back. And as King lay motionless in that hospital bed, his world and the Harris legacy was hanging by a thread. The South had gone silent. The internet went restless. And everyone was waiting for one thing: the next update. Because when royalty bleeds, the whole kingdom trembles. If the first wave of this story was shocking, the second wave hit like a cultural earthquake. By sunrise, King Harris hospital battle had turned into the headline dominating every feed from TMZ to TikTok. And let's be honest, the internet wasn't just watching, it was obsessing. You couldn't scroll without seeing hashtag pray for King Harris flashing between dancing memes, savage think pieces, and conspiracy threads that made the GFK files look simple. This wasn't news coverage anymore, it was a digital manhunt. And everyone had a theory. One blogger dropped a bombshell. This wasn't random. King was targeted because of who his father is. They claimed the attackers were allegedly connected to an old rival crew from TAE's Atlanta past, the kind of ghosts that don't disappear when you get rich. They just wait for the right moment to haunt your family. And baby, that theory spread fast. Suddenly, YouTube thumbnails were screaming revenge hit in bold red letters, complete with fake mugshots and eerie music. Meanwhile, King's name was trending above Drake and Nicki Minaj. That's how wild it got. T, usually calm and composed, couldn't stay quiet anymore. He took to Instagram Live, voice cracking, eyes heavy, and said, "I'm trying to hold it together as a man. But this right here, this ain't about fame. This ain't about rap, this my baby boy." The emotion was raw enough to make even the trolls shut up for 5 seconds. You could feel every ounce of fatherly pain pouring through the screen. Then, out of nowhere, Boozy Badazz jumped in like an uninvited uncle at a family funeral. He said, "Man, I been told y'all, them young dudes be playin' with demons they don't understand. Jail ain't no playground. They don't care who your daddy is." He wasn't wrong. But the delivery? Boozy never misses a moment to make it about himself. Charlemagne the God went viral too, calling it the perfect storm of pride, pressure, and poor judgment. DJ Academics did a 2-hour rant titled "King Harris Wanted to Be a Gangsta, Now It's Real Life." And as usual, his audience split right down the middle, half showing love, half roasting King like it was an audition for Wild 'N Out. But the biggest curveball came when Tiny finally spoke. She posted a photo of King as a little boy with the caption, "No matter how grown they think they are, they'll always be our babies. Keep praying." That one line shattered the internet's soul. Even the coldest commenters typed, "For once, people saw past the fame and saw a terrified mother instead." Meanwhile, news sources kept leaking details that turned the story darker. One claimed King had multiple skull fractures. Another said his lungs collapsed. Then a nurse anonymously told the blog, "He's breathing on his own again." Fans clung to that like gospel. Everyone wanted hope, but hope was getting harder to find. And just when things felt like they couldn't get more surreal in comes the video. Leaked surveillance footage, grainy, shaky, probably illegal, allegedly showed the moment the fight started. You couldn't see faces clearly, but the silhouette, it looked like King. The footage showed him standing his ground against a group of 3 men, one of whom sucker punched him from behind. The clip ended mid-chaos, but that was enough. The narrative changed instantly from spoiled rich kid picking fights to celebrity son ambushed. The sympathy train came roaring back. Fans flooded social media with "he didn't deserve this" posts. Celebs shared messages of support, even people who never comment on anything serious jumped in. Rick Ross, Meek Mill, and even 21 Savage dropped heart emojis and prayers. Suddenly, King Harris wasn't the punchline, he was the symbol of how fast fame can flip from privilege to pain. Still, drama doesn't sleep, and neither does the internet. That same night, a clip surfaced of T, allegedly arguing with jail officials outside the facility. You could hear him saying, "Y'all said he was safe. I want answers now." Guards tried to calm him down, but the man was livid. And who could blame him? Imagine being one of the most powerful figures in Southern rap and still being powerless when it matters most. Then boom, another headline dropped. Harris family threatens lawsuit against facility. Rumors swirled that TE's lawyers were already drafting paperwork. And let's be real, if that lawsuit hits, it's gonna shake the system like a bass drop at a Lil Jon concert. The memes, though, relentless. Someone made a fake Law and Order intro with T walking into the jail yelling, expeditiously. The internet can turn even tragedy into comedy, and people were laughing through their guilt. One tweet said, "Not T suing the jail like it's a record label," and it got 500,000 likes. humanity. 0 memes. 1. But beneath all the mockery, whispers started turning into fear. Because apparently, 2 of the inmates involved in the attack were transferred out overnight, no explanation. That set the internet ablaze. Why they moving them so fast? Is someone covering this up? Was King's attack a warning to T for something bigger? Suddenly, this wasn't just celebrity gossip, it was starting to sound like a hip-hop thriller. Then, to everyone's surprise, T's daughter, Deja, posted a cryptic story. People will do anything for clout. Keep your family close. Fans took that as confirmation that this wasn't random. Every influencer page reposted it. Within minutes, the phrase for clout was trending again. Because apparently people never learn. Even Kanye West's cousin jumped in because why not? Tweeting, that boy in jail wasn't the target. Somebody trying to send a message to Tip. Theories flew faster than facts. And through all this noise, King Harris was still lying in a hospital bed, hooked up to machines, while his parents, aged a decade in 1 week, T the hospital. Security got beefed up. T reportedly brought in private guards. One insider said, he's treating it like a presidential operation, no visitors, no leaks, no risks. But the leaks still flowed. Because drama always finds a way out. One photo allegedly showing T praying beside King's bed leaked late one night. The caption read, "Even kings kneel sometimes." That image became the moment. Every news outlet ran with it. Fans flooded timelines with love. Artists shared stories of fatherhood. And suddenly, the whole world remembered that behind the fame, these are just people who bleed too. But even that peace didn't last. A fake rumor popped up claiming King didn't make it. Within 20 minutes, Twitter was melting down. "Rip King Harris" started trending before the family could even respond. That's the dark side of the internet, it buries you before you can wake up. Tiny quickly shut it down, posting, "Stop playing with my child's name." But the damage was done. The world got a taste of panic, and it was brutal. As the storm raged, fans started reflecting, posting clips of King joking on live, laughing, being goofy. The same people who used to call him spoiled were now calling him strong. Funny how pain changes perception. Suddenly, every past mistake became forgivable. Every tattoo, every outburst, just a young man trying to figure life out. Then came the emotional gut punch. T posted a voice note, a snippet of him talking softly to King in the hospital. You couldn't hear King respond, but T's words echoed. "You stronger than you think, son. We all waiting on you." The internet froze. Nobody could scroll past that. It was too real, too raw. By now, fans weren't just spectators, they were emotionally invested. The Harris family had turned from distant celebrities to a living, breathing symbol of vulnerability. Every update, every whisper felt personal. And in that strange, messy way, tragedy did what fame never could. It made people feel. But the question still lingered like smoke in a burned room. Who really attacked King Harris? And when the first major name got linked to that answer, the entire industry gasped. Because this wasn't just about violence anymore. It was about betrayal, about connections, about how far some people will go when jealousy meets opportunity, and the shocking twist that came next. Oh, it made every previous theory look like child's play. Just when the world thought they'd seen the peak of this tragedy, a revelation dropped that made every jaw in Atlanta hit the floor. Word broke that one of the attackers, the same man who allegedly threw the first punch, had ties to someone close to the Harris circle. Yeah, you heard that right. Not some random inmate. Not a nameless rival. Someone who had once bragged about knowing the family personally. And when that connection hit the blogs, the internet exploded like an overshaken Coke bottle, according to whispers from insiders, and we all know insiders can't keep their mouths shut for more than 5 minutes. This attacker wasn't just looking for respect. He was out for revenge. Revenge for what? Nobody knows for sure. Some claim T once refused to co-sign a mixtape. Others swore it was about money owed from an old favor. But the way this man reportedly targeted King, it was clear this wasn't heat of the moment. This was premeditated payback dressed as prison politics. Within hours, social media detectives were digging up everything about this mystery man, his old mugshots, His old Facebook posts, even a blurry photo of him performing at a dive bar wearing a fake gold chain. Someone wrote, "He couldn't beat the charts, so he beat Te's son." Savage, cruel, but painfully viral. As chaos brewed online. T went silent again, the kind of silence that screams louder than 1,000 interviews. People close to him said he was channeling his anger into action, calling every connection he had, pulling every legal and media string possible. Tiny, on the other hand, was in full mama bear mode, reportedly camping at the hospital, refusing to leave her son's bedside. She didn't care about headlines or lawsuits, only heartbeats. But in the streets of Atlanta, the whispers got louder. Folks said the Ogs are talking, you know it's serious. When the uncles and old heads who usually mind their own business start holding backroom meetings, rumor had it some heavy hitters in the city were looking for the people behind King's attack, not for justice, for balance. Because in the South, respect runs deeper than law. Meanwhile, the internet kept the drama on live support like it was their full-time job. YouTubers went live for hours, analyzing every angle of the story. One creator titled his stream "The Fall and Rise of Trap Royalty." Another claimed to have exclusive inside info, but all he had was vibes and a blurry screenshot. TikTok was flooded with edits of King's childhood clips set to sad music. The same people who clowned his attitude were now posting "Protect Black Sons" hashtags, but as emotional as it all was, the story took a shocking turn toward hope. Late one night, around a.m., a nurse allegedly told a fan page admin, "Yes, that's how info leaks now that King finally woke up." The post read, "He opened his eyes. He's weak, but he's here within an hour." Hashtag "He made it" was trending in all caps. Fans started crying in the comments like it was a season finale. People said it felt like Atlanta itself exhaled. The next morning, T posted a photo, no caption, just his hand holding King's. Millions liked it instantly. You could feel the entire internet shift from chaos to compassion. Even the haters had to pause. And then, like clockwork, the redemption arc began. News broke that King had spoken barely, but enough to say he remembered everything, allegedly. He told investigators that the attack wasn't random and that he'd been warned days before it happened. Boom! Just like that, the narrative changed again. This wasn't about ego or bad choices anymore. It was about betrayal from inside the system. Every gossip site went nuclear. Who warned King? Who set it up? Did the guards know? Bloggers were foaming at the mouth for answers. Some claimed that someone on staff leaked King's location and schedule in exchange for cash or clout. That theory hit harder than any punch because it meant the danger didn't come from inmates. It came from inside the institution itself. And if you thought T was angry before, baby, this pushed him past fury into full war mode. According to close sources, he's hiring private investigators, demanding federal involvement, and even threatening to expose a bigger system of corruption. Oh, it's giving Netflix docuseries energy already. But as the story gained momentum, the human side peeked through again. Chatter online turned from blame to empathy. People began posting about how fame doesn't protect families from pain, how even rich parents can't shield their kids from bad choices or worse luck. Some fans called it the wake-up call this generation needed. Others said it was karma finally clocking out. The internet always finds a way to moralize misery. Then came the press conference, or at least what was supposed to be one. Reporters gathered outside the hospital expecting T to make a statement. Instead, he came out with tears in his eyes, thanked fans for prayers, and said, "My son's alive. That's all that matters." No bravado, no wordplay, just pain and relief stitched together with exhaustion. It was the most human moment the world had ever seen from a man once known for being unshakable. And guess who popped up next? King himself, frail, bruised, but defiant. 2 weeks later, he posted a short video from his hospital bed saying, "I'm good. God got me. I ain't never folding." The comment section lost its mind. Fans flooded him with love, but others warned him to learn from it. One comment said, "You don't need to prove you tough, you already survived something most couldn't." It racked up 500,000 likes. Meanwhile, Bino Yes, Christian's on again off again flame posted a vague tweet saying, "When God spare you, move different. Fans speculated he was talking about King. Everyone in the entertainment circle seemed to have an opinion. Because the story had become bigger than one family, it was a cautionary tale about the illusion of street glory. But as King recovered, the truth started leaking in pieces. Word spread that one of the guards involved in the cover-up had been suspended. Another quietly resigned. Lawyers started circling the facility like sharks smelling blood. The system that once looked untouchable suddenly seemed nervous. Because when T starts talking about justice, headlines are coming. In a strange twist, King's hospital stay started inspiring a movement. Fans began using the hashtag #ProtectOurYouth, tagging young rappers who glorified the lifestyle King once bragged about. Suddenly, people weren't laughing at his live videos anymore, they were replaying them like warnings. "This could have been any of our sons," one tweet said. "He's lucky to get another chance." That comment alone pulled in 2 million likes. And through it all, T kept showing up not as Tip the rapper, but as a father. In one emotional moment captured by paparazzi, he was seen walking out of the hospital, head high but tears still on his face. When a reporter yelled, "What do you want to say to fans?" he stopped, looked dead into the camera, and said, "Tell them, no matter who you are, life can humble you." Then he walked away. That clip broke the internet again. By the time King was discharged, he was practically reborn in the public's eyes. Gone was the arrogant young trap prince. In his place stood a humbled, scarred young man, one who finally understood that fame is a blessing and a burden. His first post-hospital selfie? Just him smiling faintly with the caption, "Thank you, God." Round 2. The comments were flooded with relief, praise, and of course wild theories that the story isn't over. Because let's be honest, in the entertainment world, redemption is just a prequel to another scandal. But for now, one thing was certain: the King had fallen, fought, and risen again. The Harris legacy had been shaken, but it stood tall. The same people who mocked them were now rooting for them. And the story that started with blood ended with a heartbeat that refused to stop. Still, somewhere out there, someone knows who planned that attack. Someone's secret is waiting to leak. And when it does, the internet will be ready. Because in this twisted era of fame, tragedy is content. And every comeback is just one post away from another collapse. The cameras may turn off, the hashtags may fade, but that image, T holding his son's hand under harsh hospital light, will live rent-free in the internet's memory forever. Because sometimes it's not the music, the money, or the fame that defines you, it's the moment you almost lose everything and somehow find your soul again. And there it is, the unfiltered truth behind one of the wildest, rawest, and most emotional scandals hip-hop has seen in years. King Harris didn't just survive a jail attack, he walked straight through hell and came back breathing fire. T didn't just cry for his son, he showed the world that even kings can crumble when the crown gets too heavy. But now I want to hear from you. Was this a wake-up call for every celebrity kid living fast and reckless? Was King set up? Or was this just fate finally teaching him the lesson nobody else could? Drop your theories in the comments, because this story has more twists than a Drake feature rollout, and trust me, we're watching every single one unfold right here. If you made it this far, that means you're one of us, the chaos-chasing truth detectives who don't just watch drama, we study it. So do me one favor, smash that like button like it owes you child support. Subscribe before T files another lawsuit, and hit that notification bell like it's the panic button in the Harris mansion, because tomorrow's headlines, oh, they're brewing, and we'll be here to spill the tea hotter than the hospital lights that almost dimmed on Atlanta's royal sun. Stay bold, stay curious, and remember, in the kingdom of fame, every secret eventually crawls out from under the velvet carpet. Until next time, keep your crowns polished, your receipts saved, and your popcorn stocked. This is Fame Flaws, where the truth trembles, drama reigns, and legends bleed like the rest of us. Now go hit that like button before the next scandal leaks mid-scroll.